Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today's press conference is on the occasion of the Democracy Summit called by President Joe Biden. In the complete absence of an overwhelming majority of our states and of the genuine representative organization of the democratic forces of our country, as with almost a billion, half billion Arabs were not concerned. We, the Arab Democrats, gathered on December the 3rd, discussed the status of democracy in our countries and what position we agree upon. We have summarized this position in the statement that will be distributed to you. But allow me to focus on the following points that are our main message to the world democratic community and to the summit itself. First, of course, we value President Joe Biden's effort to defend democracy in the world. We wish the summit every success. We do agree with President Joe Biden when he said that, I quote, "Democracy doesn't happen by accident. We have to defend it, fight for it, strengthen it, renew it." However, what we want to focus on is that the imposition and defense of democratic order must remain purely internal mission that we alone are able to accomplish. External intervention can be completely counterproductive. Iraq is the best or the worst example. All that we call upon Western countries in general and the United States in particular is to stop supporting authoritarian regimes who prevent our peoples from exercising their minimum right to democracy and not to be silent on the action of states allies to them, mainly the United Arab Emirates, which has fought and continues to fight to destroy all Arab democratic revolutions. Such a policy of circumstantial interests strikes the very credibility of Western discourse on democracy. More seriously, with its support for countries like Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, or Saudi Arabia, it promotes the spread of the model of governance that blends liberalism and dictatorship, a model that today rivals strongly the democratic model that mixes political freedoms and economic growth to serve all. If this model spreads ironically with the support of Western democratic systems that have sacrificed their values and long-term interests for short-term interests, democracy can decline even in the oldest democratic countries. We admirably witnessed the ability of American democracy on January 2020 to counter anti-democratic forces, but we have seen how such democracy could be threatened even in its oldest stronghold. Second, the absence of 21 Arab states from the existing 22 does not reflect the true state of democracy in the Arab world. Since the independence of our countries in the middle of the last century, our people never stopped their fight for political freedoms and social justice. The peaceful and democratic revolution called Arab Spring, which began in Tunisia in 2011 and extended rapidly to Egypt, Libya, Syria, and Yemen, was the most important stage in this ongoing struggle. In spite of all the crimes of counter-revolution that have confronted this project, including civil war, foreign aggression, the recruitment of militia in Syria, Libya, and Yemen, the military coup in Egypt, and all the means of sabotage in Tunisia, the second wave of this Arab Spring was launched in 2019 from Algeria to include Sudan, Iraq, and Lebanon. We are confident that there will be a third wave. Probably launched from Tunisia to respond to the coup d'etat of 25 July, which abolished the constitution and frozen parliament and the democratic institution brought about by the Jasmine Revolution, perhaps from another country. But surely the waves of the Arab Spring continue in the years, maybe in the decades to come, until our people achieve their objective of being free peoples governed by democratic states. Third, The Arab people paid and are still paying a heavy price for their struggle for democracy. Tens of thousands of people have been killed or injured in Yemen, Libya, and Syria. Millions have been displaced. Many of them are starving in Yemen or in camps in Lebanon. Thousands of political prisoners are jailed in our country without any right to a fair trial, like Dr. Salman al-Ouda in Saudi Arabia, or Tunisian MP like Saifuddin Makhlouf or Nidal Saudi. Let's not forget the human tragedy of 2 million Palestinians who have been under siege for more than 10 years in Gaza. In addition, there is also the issue of hundreds of executions in countries, mainly in Egypt, Syria, and Saudi Arabia. However, the displaced person and prisoner are not victims who must be sympathized with, but fighters for freedom, whom all countries and democratic civil society must support with all available means. Why? Because they stand for our common values, because they are fighting for democracy, because their victory will be your victory, our victory, to all of us. We therefore have the right to call upon democratic state to receive the displaced persons well and to provide relief to those trapped in the camps pending their return to their homes. We ask them to put the pressure on our authoritarian regime to release political prisoners and stop execution, not only in search of justice, but also to prevent the worsening of political instability that would lead to civil wars, more terrorism, and more waves of displacement that no country will be able to contain. Fourth, last but not least, our virtual conference on December 3rd was the first step in preparing the ground for a general conference on Arab democracy to be held at the earliest. We will seek to bring together political parties, civil societies, organizations, and prominent figures in order to create a democratic Arab network whose task is to exchange experiences and work together to achieve our two final goals: building democratic states on the ruins of authoritarian states and building an Arab Union of independent countries and free peoples similar to the one built by the European peoples after they have eliminated communist, fascist, and Nazi dictatorships. In conclusion, we are proud of all what our peoples are doing to enforce their right to freedom. We are confident that our region, absent from this summit, is the one that is experiencing today the most important battle to impose democracy. And we do hope that sooner or later, 22 Arab states will join the club of free peoples and democratic states. Thank you.